The SKS rifle, a Soviet legend with a wild story. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love firearms, history, or just epic stories about gear that stood the test of time, you're in for a treat today. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and drop a comment to let us know what you think about the SKS rifle, because we're diving deep into the wild, fascinating world of the Semenov self-loading carbine, or SKS. This Soviet masterpiece has seen wars, revolutions, and even backyard shooting ranges across America. It's a legend, and its story is anything but ordinary. Let's get into it. Picture this. It's the mid-20th century, and the world is a chaotic mess. Wars are raging, nations are rebuilding, and engineers are racing to create the next big thing in firearms. In the Soviet Union, a brilliant designer named Sergei Semenov comes up with a rifle that's a true game changer, the SKS. It's sleek, reliable, and packs a punch. But here's the kicker. Just as it's ready to shine, a new kid on the block, the AK-47, steals the spotlight. The SKS becomes a classic that never quite gets its moment in the sun. Why? Well, stick around because this story is full of twists, turns, and some serious Cold War drama. The SKS is a self-loading carbine, meaning it fires one shot per trigger pull, but reloads itself automatically. It uses a 7.62 by 39mm cartridge, a round that's still popular today for its balance of power and versatility. This rifle was designed to bridge the gap between heavy, long-range rifles and zippy, but underpowered submachine guns. It was a genius idea, but timing is everything, and the SKS showed up just as the world was shifting toward fully automatic weapons like the AK-47. So why should you care about a rifle that's over 70 years old? Because the SKS isn't just a piece of steel and wood. It's a symbol of innovation, resilience, and adaptability. It's fought in jungles, deserts, and even modern conflicts. It's a favorite among American hunters, collectors, and preppers. And let's be real, there's something undeniably cool about a rifle that's still kicking after all these years. So, let's break down its story, from its Soviet roots to its place in American gun culture. To really get the SKS, we need to travel back to the 1930s and 1940s, when the world was on the brink of chaos. The Soviet Union, under Stalin's iron grip, was gearing up for war. Their army, the Red Army, relied on two main types of ammo. A beefy 7.62 by 54mm round, used in Mosin-Nagant rifles, Tokarev semi-autos, and heavy machine guns like the Maxim and Degtyarev. This was the go-to for long-range firepower. A smaller 7.62 by 25mm pistol round, used in TT pistols and submachine guns like the PPSH-41 and PPS-43. These were great for close-quarters combat, but lacked punch at longer ranges. If you're a gun nerd, you can already see the problem. There was a huge gap between these two rounds. The rifle ammo was powerful but heavy and slow to fire. The pistol ammo was fast but weak, only good for spraying at close range. Everyone, from soldiers to engineers, knew they needed something in between. A Goldilocks round that was just right. Enter World War II. The Soviets were fighting for survival against Nazi Germany, and they didn't have time to mess around with new designs. But the Germans? They were way ahead. In 1941, they rolled out a 7.92 by 33mm intermediate cartridge, which powered their groundbreaking Sturmgewehr 44, the world's first true assault rifle. When Soviet troops captured these rifles, it was a wake-up call. They needed to catch up, and fast. By 1943, Soviet engineers had their own intermediate round, the 7.62 by 39mm. This cartridge was a game changer, powerful enough for medium-range combat, but light enough for rapid fire. It was the perfect foundation for new weapons, and Sergei Semenov was ready to make his mark. Sergei Semenov wasn't just any designer. He was a rock star of Soviet engineering, known for his knack for creating reliable, practical weapons. He'd been working on self-loading rifles since the 1930s, and his SKS was a culmination of years of trial and error. The first prototypes hit the scene in 1944, just as World War II was reaching its climax. These early models were tested on the front lines, and they showed promise. But the war's chaos, with factories being evacuated and resources stretched thin, delayed production. Finally, in 1949, the SKS was officially adopted by the Soviet Army. It was a sleek, well-crafted carbine with a 10-round magazine, a folding bayonet, and a rugged design that could handle the harshest conditions. But here's where things get spicy. In the same year, the AK-47, designed by Mikhail Kalashnikov, also got the green light. These two rifles were like siblings with totally different personalities. The SKS was the precise, calculated older brother. The AK was the wild, spray-and-pray younger sibling. Guess who won the popularity contest? Let's break down why the SKS got overshadowed by the AK-47. It's not because the SKS was a bad rifle. Far from it. It's because the two guns were built for different worlds. The SKS, a semi-automatic carbine, designed for accuracy and control. It fires one shot per trigger pull with a 10-round magazine that you load using stripper clips. It's perfect for soldiers who can aim carefully and engage targets up to 350 to 400 yards away. Think of it as a marksman's tool, precise, reliable, and elegant. The AK-47, a fully automatic beast with a 30-round magazine. It can fire bursts, spraying bullets at a blistering pace. For a poorly trained conscript army, this was a dream. You didn't need to be a sharpshooter, just point, pull the trigger, and let the lead fly. In the Soviet army of the 1950s, most soldiers weren't elite snipers. They were young guys from farms and factories with minimal training. The AK's ability to deliver overwhelming firepower made it the go-to choice for mass combat. The SKS, with its focus on precision, just couldn't keep up in terms of raw output. But there's more to it. Let's talk economics. After World War II, the Soviet Union was broke. Rebuilding a war-torn country while maintaining a massive army was no joke. The AK-47 was cheaper and easier to produce than the SKS. Its stamped metal parts and simple design meant factories could churn out millions of them in no time. The SKS, with its milled steel receiver and high-quality craftsmanship, took more time and resources. By the late 1950s, the Soviets had produced about 15 million SKS rifles, but the AK was flooding the market even faster. The SKS wasn't kicked out of the army entirely. It stuck around in secondary roles, guarding airfields, warehouses, and naval bases. Its accuracy and reliability made it a solid choice for jobs where you didn't need to hose down the enemy with bullets. But in the main combat units, the AK ruled supreme. Here's where the SKS story gets wild. Even though it lost the starring role in the Soviet army, the SKS became a global superstar. The Soviets exported it to dozens of countries, from Vietnam to Cuba to Egypt. It fought in the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and countless smaller conflicts across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. China even made its own version, called the Type 63, based on the SKS design. Why was it so popular? For one, it was reliable as heck. Drop it in mud, sand, or snow, and it'll still fire. 2. The 7.62 by 39mm round was affordable and widely available. 3. It was easy to train troops on. Countries with limited budgets and poorly trained armies loved the SKS because it didn't require a PhD to use effectively. In the United States, the SKS found a second life. After the Cold War, surplus SKS rifles flooded the American market. They were dirt cheap, sometimes as low as $100 in the 1990s. Gun enthusiasts, hunters, and collectors snapped them up. Today, a well-preserved SKS can sell for anywhere from $200 to $1,000, depending on its condition and modifications. It's become a cult classic with a dedicated fan base that loves its history and rugged charm. All right, let's get nerdy for a second and talk about what makes the SKS so special. This rifle is a masterclass in Soviet engineering, simple, tough, and built to last. Design: the SKS has a milled steel receiver, a wooden stock, and a folding bayonet that's permanently attached. No losing it in the field. It's got a 10-round internal magazine that you load with stripper clips. Later versions had chrome-lined barrels for extra durability. Weight: without ammo, it's 3.75 kilograms, about 8.3 pounds. Fully loaded, it's around 3.9 kilograms, 8.6 pounds. Length: with the bayonet folded, it's 1,020 millimeters, about 40 inches. With the bayonet extended, it's 1,260 millimeters, about 49.6 inches. Range: the SKS is effective up to 400 yards, though its sights are optimistically marked for up to 1,000 yards. Let's just say hitting anything at that distance is more luck than skill. Operation: it's gas-operated, with a short-stroke piston system. Pull the trigger, the gas pushes the piston, the bolt cycles, and you're ready for the next shot. Simple and reliable. The SKS is a breeze to use. The safety is a lever near the trigger guard. Up for safe, down for fire. To load, you pull back the bolt, slap in a stripper clip with 10 rounds, push the ammo into magazine, and let the bolt slam forward. If you're out of clips, you can load rounds one by one. When a mag is empty, the bolt locks back, letting you know it's time to reload. Early SKS models had some quirks, like non-chrome barrels that wore out faster or bayonets that could wiggle loose. But by 1952 or 1953, the Soviets ironed out the kinks. The later models are rock solid, with a lifespan of tens of thousands of rounds. Compared to other rifles of its era, like the American M1 Garand or the German Mauser, the SKS holds its own. The Garand's clip ejects with a loud ping that can give away your position. The SKS stays quiet. The Mauser is bolt action, so it's slower. The SKS strikes a perfect balance. If you're an American gun owner, chances are you've seen an SKS at a gun show, a range, or even in your buddy's collection. This rifle has carved out a unique niche in the US. Let's talk about why. The SKS is a favorite among budget-conscious hunters. Its 7.62 by 39 millimeter round is great for medium-sized game, like deer or hogs at ranges up to 200 yards. The ammo is cheap, often less than 50 cents per round, and widely available. Plus, the rifle itself is affordable. You can pick up a decent SKS for $300 to $500, compared to $1,000 or more for a modern hunting rifle. But it's not all roses. Some hunters turn their noses up at the SKS, calling it underpowered compared to bigger rounds like the 7.62 by 54 millimeter or the 30-06. In some states, the 7.62 by 39 millimeter is even banned for hunting certain game because it can lead to wounded animals if the shot isn't perfect. Here's my take. It's not the rifle's fault. A bad shot with any gun will leave a wounded animal. In skilled hands, the SKS is deadly accurate. The problem is that its low price attracts newbies who might not have the training to make clean kills. The SKS is a collector's dream. Whether it's a pristine Soviet model from the 1950s or a Chinese Type 63, these rifles are pieces of history. Some collectors go crazy for rare variants, like early SKS models with unique markings or Yugoslavian versions with grenade launchers. Then there's the customization crowd. In the US, the SKS has become a canvas for gun tinkerers. You can slap on a weaver rail for optics, a collapsible stock, or even a 30-round detachable magazine, where legal. Some folks turn their SKS into a tactical beast that looks like it belongs in a video game. But here's my opinion. Part of the SKS's charm is its simplicity. Slapping on a bunch of gadgets can make it look cool, but it loses that classic vibe. If you want a modern rifle, get an AR-15. The SKS is perfect as is. Let's not forget the prepper community. The SKS is a favorite among folks preparing for the worst. Why? It's reliable, ammo is plentiful, and it's easy to maintain. If the world goes sideways, an SKS in your safe is a solid bet. You'd think a rifle from the 1940s would be a museum piece by now, but the SKS keeps popping up in modern conflicts. In the 2014 to 2015 conflict in eastern Ukraine, militias used SKS rifles pulled from old Soviet stockpiles or civilian hunting versions. In the ongoing conflict in Ukraine since 2022, there have been occasional sightings of SKS rifles, likely from looted stashes or private collections. Why does the SKS keep showing up? Because it's a survivor. In chaotic, low-resource environments, its simplicity and reliability shine. It doesn't need fancy maintenance or rare ammo. It just works. That's why it's still a go-to for irregular forces and civilians caught in conflict zones. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The SKS wasn't just a rifle. It was a player in the global arms race. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union used weapons like the SKS to build alliances. They shipped millions of SKS rifles to countries like North Vietnam, Cuba, and Angola. It was a cheap way to spread influence while countering American weapons like the M1 Garand and M16. Economically, the SKS was a win for the Soviets. Producing 15 million rifles sounds expensive, but the economies of scale made it manageable. The 7.62 by 39 millimeter round was cheaper to manufacture than the older 7.62 by 54 millimeter, saving millions in ammo costs. Plus, the SKS's durability meant it could be used for decades without needing replacement. In the U.S., the SKS has had a lasting economic impact. The flood of surplus rifles in the 1990s created a thriving secondary market. Today, companies like Century Arms and Palmetto State Armory still sell SKS accessories and refurbished models. The rifle's affordability has made it a staple for budget-conscious gun owners, driving sales of ammo and aftermarket parts. But there's a flip side. The SKS's low cost has led to its reputation as a cheap rifle, which some snobbish shooters look down on. I say that's nonsense. A reliable, accurate rifle for a few $100, that's a steal, not a flaw. So, why should you care about a 70-year-old Soviet carbine? Because the SKS is more than a gun. It's a story of innovation, adaptation, and survival. It's a reminder that good design stands the test of time. Whether you're a hunter, a collector, or just a history buff, the SKS has something to offer. For me, the SKS is like a classic muscle car. It might not have the bells and whistles of a modern AR-15, but it's got soul. It's reliable, tough, and tells a story of a world on the brink. Every scratch on its stock, every ding on its bayonet, is a piece of history. That's the wild, epic story of the SKS rifle. From Soviet battlefields to American gun safes, this carbine has seen it all. What do you think? Do you own an SKS? Have you taken it hunting or tricked it out with a new stock? Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. And if you love this deep dive into firearms history, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and share this video with your friends. We got tons more content coming your way, from classic guns to survival tips and everything in between. Stay locked and loaded, and we'll see you in the next one.